Here are few mistakes to avoid when you are a first-time homebuyer and starting the home buying process. And number one is not getting approved for a mortgage before start seeing the properties, because you need to get approved. The reason behind is you need to know your numbers, you need to know how much you qualified for and what flexibility you have with that budget, because it's very important for you to know your budget and to know what's available in your budget so you can start looking for home precisely. Number two is the avoiding the home inspection. Regardless, even the house is a brand new home, still the inspector can find something, what can be deadly, because you never know if there is a crack, or there's a settling in the home, especially older homes, the termites, there's so many hidden stuffs, polybutylene pipe. There are some homes built in 1990s, they have the piping inside the polybutylene that can cost you $10,000-$12,000. The hidden things inside the house, an inspector has the eyes to find them. So never avoid a home inspection. Avoid making an emotional purchase. That's number three, because sometimes we fall for a home, fall for a neighborhood, maybe out of our budget, and then we get into the trouble. So you always have to keep in mind your current budget. You can always buy your dream home, the next one, but keeping in the budget is very important. And also the long-term benefit. It's not about the home with the emotional touch. Is this home has a long-term value? So if you have to buy another home in the future, can you get your return on the investment and put a larger down payment towards the new home? So look forward for long-term investment benefit on this particular property you're buying and your budget. Don't fall for an emotional decision. Mistake number 4 to avoid is not shopping for mortgage with some other lenders also. Even though you love your current lender, even though you like the numbers, this is a huge investment. So you should check with some other lenders, because then you can compare and go with the lender, the most interest for your purchase. So that is very important. It is a myth that someone say, oh, if my credit gets checked multiple times, my credit score will go down. It is not, because there is a certain time you can get your credit check for the particular purpose. You are not getting your credit check for 10 different things that will harm your credit, but not for one purpose, checking with at least 3 lenders. That is very important. Avoid that mistake. Don't just stick to the lender you like. Go for the lender have the most interest for your purchase. Number 5 to avoid is not budgeting for additional expenses. You do need down payment. You also need closing cost. You also have some prepaid expense. For example, the insurance, you got to pay the whole year advance. If you're getting a loan, you have some prepaid interest for next, maybe sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months, you got to pay to the lender. So those are the things you got to consider. Also, regardless which house you're buying, sometimes you may need to spend some money to customize for yourself, because if the house needs a paint or some rooms, you need to paint as your kids, they need it. You got to do it now. It's very hard to do once you move in. So you may have to do those small repairs or customization before you move in. So definitely when you're starting the process, budget some extra money for those stuffs. The last one, number 6, is avoid not considering the resale value. Regardless, you may be buying this home, it is a forever home, but you need to consider, because you never know what's happening next, in few years, because there are a lot of things in our life not in control. So you always have to consider the resale value of the property in few years. So a couple of things like the neighborhood, if this neighborhood is going up on the price, or kind of properties, is this particular kind of property is going to give me a better resale value. We can always discuss those factors, neighborhood to neighborhood. You can always give us a call. You can comment here and then we can reach out to you. So these are the 6 things you must consider, you must avoid when you are in the process buying your next home, or if you're a first-time home buyer, definitely consider these factors. My name is Sean Bhakta from REMAX Presidential South Florida Home Finder Team, and I'm glad to help.